What's up, dude? After 20 years of professional cooking, I've learned that a great stuffing is the true unsung hero of Thanksgiving dinner. Today, I'm gonna give you all my top tips and tricks for a tasty stuffing with crispy golden brown edges and a custardy pudding-like center. Now let's go! When it comes to great stuffing, the bread isn't nearly as important as what you're gonna do to it. Though having said that, my personal preference is gonna be sourdough, although really, you can use what you want. What's important is this next step. So we're gonna start by slicing up this bread, and as a pro tip, I just left this bread in the freezer for about 20 minutes, which is just gonna make it really easy to slice and keep it from smashing and compressing, which is another reason why I slice the bread instead of tearing it up. I feel like when you're tearing it up, you kind of smash it too much and it gets a little bit dense. I'm trying to keep it lighter. From here, I'll just slice across into some cubes, roughly about this size. It's not a perfect science. Something about this size is just fine. At this point, just get it all onto a tray like this. Once all your bread's straight up, the next step is gonna be to bake it in the oven at a low temperature to dry it out. Now, if you want, you could skip this step, but I will warn you, you're gonna end up with a soggy, sort of mushy stuffing as opposed to one that just has more texture. The choice is yours, but if you have the time, I highly recommend you try this. So we're going straight into a 250-degree oven for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And on another note, if you have the foresight, you could definitely cut up the bread the day before, leave it on those trays, let it sit for a full 24 hours, it will dry out like that. Now, while your bread is drying out, we can just go ahead and build the rest of our filling. I'm starting with a little bit of neutral oil here, and that's going into a medium-high heat pan because we're gonna be adding sausage to this stuffing. Do you need to add sausage? No. Is it really good? Absolutely, yes it is. And you can use whatever kind of sausage you really like. You wanna do Italian, do Italian. You wanna do chorizo, you could even try that. I like breakfast sausage because of that sage sort of flavor. It's just sort of perfect. And all we're gonna do is just begin cooking this down in our pan. We definitely wanna get a little bit of color on it and cook it all the way through. And after about 10 minutes of browning, this looks pretty good. And there's not too much grease left over. If there's a lot, you can actually use that grease to cook the next layer of ingredients. We'll just stick this in a bowl for now. With the pan back on medium heat, I'm gonna add quite a bit of butter. I'm actually only using half the butter right now for this recipe. You'll see why I saved the other half for later. And it has to do with texture and crunch. But for now, we'll just melt this down. I mean, it's Thanksgiving, guys. You know, we're not trying to cut down the calories, that's for sure. In we go with some onion, just large dice, as well as some celery. And I know what you're thinking, because if you watch this channel, you know I sort of just really rip on celery all the time. And it is very true that I don't like celery in a stock. I feel like that flavor just takes over too much. However, I still do use it, and I think it absolutely belongs in stuffing. It just wouldn't be the same without it. So we're gonna combine these ingredients here and just let them cook away. And I'm actually gonna pour out a little bit of that sausage grease in here. Now, before we get to the next step, let me introduce Made in Cookware, who I'm proud to say is the sponsor of today's video. And to tell you the truth, I've loved cooking out of Made In's pots and pans long before they ever sponsored this channel. The quality is truly outstanding, and that's why it's no surprise that these pots and pans are used in 3 Michelin star restaurants like Alinea and La Bernardine. I also appreciate that Made In partners with multi-generational factories and artisans to help bring you a product that is an absolute pleasure to use. And their stainless steel collection is definitely the most used cookware in my kitchen. I really love their saucepans like this one with that curved rim that allows you to pour it right out. These little saucepans are beautiful. I love the way the lid fits. And of course, my #1 favorite, the stainless steel clad pans. It doesn't matter what I'm cooking. Whenever I go in the kitchen, I always pull these out and I always use them. And it really doesn't matter if it's meat or fish or vegetables or eggs, it will do them all perfectly. These stainless steel pans are crafted in Italy with premium 5-ply stainless steel material that allows for superior heat retention, even heating, and ease of heat control. And all of Made In stainless clad cookware can go from a stovetop into an oven up to 800 degrees hot, and the curvature of the walls is calculated for deeper searing and easier flipping, while a rolled rim allows you to pour sauces without spilling. I just know that Made In's cookware will never let me down, and it will last a lifetime. Check out the stainless collection as well as Made In's other cookware by clicking the link down in the description to get some of the best deals of the year. Thank you, Made In, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the recipe. And I'm gonna season this up a little bit right now with some rosemary salt. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, no worries, you can absolutely make this without it. Although given it's the holiday season, if you just follow the recipe that's down in the description, all you need to do is pick some sage and some rosemary leaves off the stem, throw it in a food processor with some salt, some garlic, and lemon zest, and just blend it up for 1 minute. Then you have this, and it's literally gonna make your whole Thanksgiving meal taste better. I guarantee it. It's been about 10 minutes. At this point, I'm gonna add my garlic. Go ahead and work that in. This just smells absolutely divine. We'll let that garlic cook out for 2 or 3 minutes. Now, I know we have rosemary in the salt, but at this point, I'm gonna add more rosemary. We need that flavor pronounced, and double the amount of fresh sage. A little bit of thyme stripped off the stem. And one ingredient I really love in stuffing, herbs de Provence. just a little bit. Now, let's work all that in. Wow, look at that. I mean, the smell right now is unbelievable. Give it a good mix. And it's at this point, I really like to just turn the heat off and just let those hard herbs sort of infuse here. And of course, we're gonna add a little Sergeant Gilbert reporting for duty, which is just freshly ground black pepper. You can do as little or as much as you like. And remember, you just wanna go kind of easy with the seasoning here until you put everything together. So it really depends how salty your stock is that you'll be using here in a minute coming up. At this point, our bread's been drying out in that low oven for 1 hour, and you can kind of hear that's the sound you're going for. They are hard as a rock, basically like croutons, right? What we're gonna do now is take a giant bowl, which if you don't have a giant bowl, it's like something is missing from your life. And we're gonna dump all our bread straight in. Here we go, time for the fun part. We're gonna dump all of our onion mixture here onto the bread. And if there was a lot of fond on your pan, you could actually deglaze this with some stock, which I think I'll do. Sausage going in. Now I'm going in with my turkey stock here. You could use chicken or another one if you like. Just deglaze that pan. Oh, yes. Oh, I love this. We're gonna give this a really good mix, and then it needs to sit and sort of saturate with all that stock and fat from the butter and the sausage. Everything's just starting to come together. Wow. I'm also taking 1 cup of reserve stock, and I'm adding eggs. Eggs are personal preference, but I love that rich, custardy sort of base it gives your stuffing. And since I have quite a lot of stuffing, we're doing 3 eggs. We're gonna just work them into this stock. Just go ahead and work your egg mixture into your stuffing. And once your egg's worked in, just let it sit for another 5 minutes while we prepare the baking dish. Now I'm gonna take some more butter on my baking tray here. And what I'm gonna do is just smash this all around the edges of the baking tray, making sure to just really get in all these corners here. And this is gonna help achieve those little crispy textured corners, which are the best pieces, and hopefully our bottom and edges are just so much better because of this butter. And here we go, my friends, in with the stuffing. Wow, let's push it down a little bit, make sure it's all tucked away. Although I don't want to smash the top too much where it all becomes one sort of even layer. I want to get a little bit of texture on the top. And the final touch right here, melted butter on top. I'm just brushing it on. And I really think this is just going to help us get that golden brown, beautiful looking top. Sometimes the top of stuffing just looks a little bit dry and sad, and I'm hoping this is going to help with that. Wow, I mean, it's definitely not going to do any bad, is it? I don't think I've ever been so excited about stuffing in my life. And there we are, my friends. Is that not glorious? It goes into a 375-degree oven for about 30 minutes, but we'll see. Bon voyage, my little friend. And here we are after 45 minutes. And as you can see, our stuffing looks absolutely gorgeous. It definitely got crisp on top while still remaining juicy and jiggly a little bit in the middle from that custard base. It looks like our plan worked for the edges. They look really brown and golden and delicious. I actually can't wait to get in there and see how that looks on the bottom. The stuffing's been resting for about 20 minutes now. Let's take out a piece and have a look. Wow. So you can see on the inside, it's still nice and soft and bouncy, but then on the edges here, on the corners, and this is exactly what I was going for, you just see this golden brown, delicious crunch, which is what I wanted. All that texture in here, it can only be a good thing, but it's still really soft in the middle. This smells absolutely divine. Let's give it a taste. Let's get a corner piece, huh, Marcus? Look at that. Oh man. Woo! I don't really want to post this fridge attack. I think we should do a new one probably. All right. Winner! Ooh, chewy edge. I love the flavors of sage and rosemary and all that stuff here. It really is very savory. Flavors are really great. Flavors just taste like the holidays. If you need a gravy recipe, even better with the stuffing, I'll put a card right in the corner right now. I'll also link to it at the end of the video, along with my mashed potatoes if you need to make that too. We got you covered. Man, with the gravy though, that really sets it off. Woo! Wow, that's luscious. Give it a shot, my friends, delicious. So now you know how to make the perfect stuffing, but Thanksgiving dinner really isn't complete without the gravy and without the mashed potatoes. So watch those videos next if you want to complete the meal. On another note, if you're into written recipes, check out my Master in the Making ebook that will be linked in the description. Otherwise, I hope you just have a great Thanksgiving, and I hope it's the tastiest one yet. Until next time, you know I love you, and I'm out.